The end of my workday is around 1 p.m. on Wednesday when I go out to the front of the house to pick up another load of bricks. Just as I start loading the bricks, I see a light green Toyota Camry drive by that looks exactly like my brother's car. Seeing the driver, I understand that this is really my brother's car. His wife, Veronica, is driving. I almost waved, but it was clear that she had not noticed me as I stood on the sidewalk near a house under construction. My name is Jack Button. I'm 30 years old. I'm a bricklayer. Well, this is the job I've been doing for the last 5 months. Before that, I worked as a foreman, a painter, an Uber driver, and a dozen other jobs since I left school 12 years ago. I never have a lot of money, but I always manage. I live in Boise, Idaho with my family. I have a younger brother, Billy, 28 years old, his wife, Veronica, 27 years old, and their two small children, Jason and Melissa, 7 and 5 years old respectively. Billy is a plumber and works in my father's small family plumbing business, along with my father John and mother Mary. I also have a younger sister named Brittany. She is 25 years old, but she turned out to be the smartest in our family, left Boise for California for college, and now works in the San Francisco area as an IT developer. I am considered the black sheep in the family, moving from one job to another and not getting along very well with my father since my teenage years. He never hid his disappointment in me for not getting a profession and refusing to follow in his footsteps into the family business like my younger brother. I don't care. I'm glad my brother will take over when my father retires, even though he's only 55 and still has a few years to go. My mother has been trying to involve me in a relationship with my father, but it has been a futile struggle since I was 15. We're both stubborn as donkeys. Billy, on the other hand, gets along with everyone, loves his family, his job, although he is not the brightest and gets angry easily. He is a good plumber, but he doesn't understand business, which is why my father is so angry with me. He knows I could run a business, but I'm not interested. After finishing my shift at the construction site, I got on my motorcycle and rode home or to the bar. I haven't decided yet. As I turned the corner, I saw my brother's car parked in the driveway of a beautiful house. This must be Veronica's friend. Next to the car stood a brand new red Chevrolet with a large inscription on the door, Boys Motors, one of the car dealerships in the city. One of the benefits of working as a construction worker is getting up early and leaving work early. It was only 2 o'clock in the afternoon when I headed to a bar in the city center. Leaving the bar after 5 o'clock, I accidentally drove past the Boys Motors car dealership and saw the same red Chevrolet that I had seen before. I was surprised that my old school and work friend Mickey Johnston was driving. I stopped, turned around, and followed him home. And so he turned again to the house where I had seen my sister-in-law's car earlier in the day. As far as I know, Mickey is a bachelor like me. We somehow got along at school. He was always popular and knew how to manipulate people. That's probably why he's a good car salesman now. One of the jobs I used to do was as a parts courier, delivering parts to different car dealerships in Boise, and that's when I met Mickey again. We even went out together several times to have a beer and meet women. Although I usually ended up with beer and Mickey ended up with women. Yes, he was still that player, a real ladies' man. So what the hell is Veronica doing at his house on a Wednesday afternoon when Billy is at work and the kids are at school? The obvious occurred to me, but I refused to believe it. Billy and Veronica seemed to me to be happy and in love with their little family. They started dating when Veronica was a senior and married before they were 20. Billy was almost 21 when his son was born. Although I still got him drunk, what else do big brothers do? I thought there must be some reason why Veronica is visiting Mickey's house. Maybe he has a girlfriend that I don't know about. I put it out of my mind and went home. I wasn't going to say anything to my brother because I wasn't sure there was anything to say. The weekend passed. I almost made it on a Saturday night at a bar, but the woman I liked had annoying, ugly friends who took her away from me before I could finish the job. Damn ugly bitches. I returned to work during the week, but on Wednesday, as I was leaving the construction site, I again saw my brother's car parked at Mickey's house. Mickey's red Chevrolet was also parked nearby, and I felt an uneasy feeling in my stomach. Does Mickey really have a girlfriend that Veronica is visiting, or is Veronica Mickey's girlfriend? And why is Mickey home if Veronica is visiting his girlfriend? I don't like where this is going. I got along well with my younger brother Billy and his wife Veronica. I used to always look out for Billy when we were younger. He always tried to follow me into the trouble I got into. This is another reason why my father was unhappy with me. To him, Billy was a good child who was being led down a crooked path by his older, more irresponsible brother. There may be some truth in this, but Billy himself wanted to follow me into mischief. I always felt it was my responsibility to make sure he didn't end up with the worst thing that could happen. It wasn't that Billy couldn't stand up for himself or fight, he could do both. He was simply too trusting and easily manipulated due to his not too great intelligence. Some guys I knew had no problem trying to take advantage of this and get Billy to do things he shouldn't. That's when I intervened, telling them to find someone else to do their dirty work. Veronica and Billy seemed to be perfect for each other. She was attractive and smart in their relationship, and Billy was the strong, loyal, supportive provider and father. Veronica also works part-time as an executive assistant at a downtown business, and I have always thought she is a great mom who loves her family. They have a large mortgage on a nice 4-bedroom house and are planning to have another child to add to the 2 they already have. So to think that Veronica could cheat on Billy with an idiot like Mickey Johnston was hard to stomach. This weekend I happened to see Mickey at a bar downtown with a few other guys from the car dealership. When they noticed me, they invited me to join them for a beer or two. Even though I got along better with Mickey's co-workers than with Mickey himself, it was still a good excuse to meet up with the guys I used to work with. Overnight, I learned that Mickey was indeed still single and living alone. So what the hell is Veronica doing with him? So what the hell am I going to tell my brother? I've been thinking about this week, about talking to brother Billy about what I've learned. The truth is, I'm not sure if Veronica is cheating on him with Mickey, it just looks that way. Is this enough to destroy my brother's marriage and family? I know Billy, he would never tolerate cheating on Veronica's part. This is definitely the end of their marriage. What about children? What about their mortgage? She'll probably stay in the house with full custody of the kids, while Billy will have to move out, pay rent, and then child support with mortgage payments on top. To top it off, Billy already partially owns my parents' plumbing business. Will they have to sell it or pay Veronica a share in a messy divorce? This is not good. I need to be sure before I say or do anything. On Wednesday at 2 o'clock in the afternoon after work, I drove past Mickey's house again, and again saw my sister-in-law's car in his driveway, along with Mickey's car. This time I went to the car dealership to see if Mickey was at work. I made up some stupid idea to go into the parts department and talk to the guys I was drinking with over the weekend. Mickey wasn't there, as I found out. He takes a long lunch break every Wednesday, returning to work by 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Crap. Looks like my worst fears have come true. Veronica sleeps with Mickey every Wednesday afternoon. Why the hell is she doing this? Why risk everything she has with my brother and their family, just for an idiot like Mickey Johnston? This doesn't make any sense to me, but I won't tell Billy anything yet. I need to think about this. If it's true, it will destroy him. Billy called me on Friday to ask if I wanted to go to a comedy show downtown that evening. I asked him if Veronica was coming, perhaps I could talk to her during the evening. No, he told me she was going to a bachelorette party with her colleagues, and the parents would babysit the children. I declined the invitation but noticed where Billy said Veronica was going. Maybe I'll go there for a couple of drinks and talk to her quietly. I arrived at a large bar in the city center a little later than planned. I always take too long to get ready. I wandered around looking for Veronica, expecting to see her with a group of friends or on the dance floor. But I didn't see either one. Maybe they had already left for another bar. I ordered a beer and sat down at the bar, wondering what to do next when I saw Veronica coming out of the restroom. I couldn't see who she was sitting with. Their table was in a dark part of the bar and quite far from where I was sitting. I stood up and walked around the opposite side of the bar to her table. The dance floor was between where I was now sitting and drinking my beer, watching Veronica return to the table. I saw a man sitting with her, and I think it was Mickey Johnston. So, she tells her husband that she is going to the bachelorette party to meet the person she is cheating with. Never been so disappointed in someone, hoped I was wrong. To make things worse, I saw her lean over and start kissing him. Damn you, Veronica. I wanted to go up and confront them both right now, punch Mickey in the face, and demand that Veronica go home to her children. But that's none of my business. I'm not her husband. This is not my fight. I can't believe she's doing this so openly. Who knows who else could be here who could see her clearly cheating on her husband. If such rumors start circulating, it will kill my brother because of such humiliation. Before I could decide what I should do or say to her, they both stood up and walked out of the bar. I waited about 30 seconds before following them. I didn't see them anywhere, so I went to another bar nearby. Walking along the sidewalk, I saw Mickey's car driving by with Veronica in the passenger seat. They're probably on their way back to his house. Damn it. I know that Billy plays golf every Saturday morning with his friends when it's not winter. Maybe I'll stop by Veronica's tomorrow morning after Billy leaves, talk to her about stopping before she ruins everything. When I arrived at my brother's house, his old neighbor was gardening and looked at me angrily. He never liked the noise of my motorcycle, but he didn't care. I walked up and knocked on the door. Jason opened the door, and I heard Veronica calling from the kitchen. "Who is it, honey?" she asked. "It's Uncle Jack, Mom," Jason answered. I greeted Jason before walking into the kitchen where Veronica and her daughter Melissa were making some dough. "Oh, hi, Jack. Billy went golfing this morning. He left about an hour ago," Veronica said when she saw me. "Oh, yeah, exactly. Sorry, I forgot." I lied. When Veronica finished putting the dough on the baking sheet, she put it in the oven before asking Melissa to go wash her hands. Jason had already returned to his video game in the living room, which gave me a moment alone with Veronica. "So you don't usually come in on Saturdays?" "What happened?" Veronica asked, turning to me. "Well, I'd like to talk to you quietly, away from the children. Is that okay with you?" I answered. Veronica looked at me a little strangely, but then nodded and asked Jason to share the game with Melissa while Mom and Uncle Jack went outside. They have a table and chairs outside, so we sat down to talk. "So this is about Billy. Did he do something?" Veronica asked. "No, Billy is fine. I wanted to talk about you and what you did," I answered, watching her reaction. "What did I do? What are you even talking about, Jack?" Veronica answered. "About Mickey Johnston, that's what it's about," I answered, again observing her reaction. "Who is Mickey Johnston? I don't know anyone by that name." Veronica answered after a short pause. "I know, Veronica. People are talking. I came to ask you to stop this crap. Think about Billy and your family. Mickey isn't worth it, not worth it at all," I answered. "I still don't understand what you're talking about. Are you accusing me of cheating on my husband?" Veronica answered defiantly. "I'm asking you to stop from going any further. Billy doesn't have to know right now. You can save your marriage and not ruin everything. It's your choice," I answered. Veronica shook her head and turned away from me before answering again. "I can't believe you came into my house and blamed me for this. You're incredible. No wonder your parents think you're a loser. I can't believe all the crap you put Billy through all these years, and now you're here telling me this. I want you to leave right now," Veronica answered angrily. I stood up from the table, but turned to her as I walked away. "I know you're angry that someone found you, but please stop, okay? Don't keep doing the wrong things," I answered, then left the house. I can't believe she's categorically denying it. I thought it would be hard for her to admit, but to deny it like that. It's okay if she stops now and knows that I know about them. If she's smart, she'll stop it, and that's all I really want. I never mentioned to Veronica that I saw her with him, or that her car was at Mickey's house. I kept this in reserve. I'll see if she's there next Wednesday again or not. And she was. Seriously, Veronica, your husband's brother called you for a conversation. He knows about your affair, and your answer is to continue in the same spirit. Okay, I need to talk to her again, but this time I will clearly explain what will happen if this continues. Once again, the neighbor glared at me because of the motorcycle noise when I pulled up to Billy's house the following Saturday morning. Well, okay, old man. This time Veronica was clearly not happy to see me. She had a look of complete irritation on her face as she led me out into the backyard, away from the children. What do you want this time, Jack? Are you going to blame me again, or have you come to apologize? Veronica asked angrily, but quietly so that the children would not hear. I told you last week that I know what you've been doing, but you haven't stopped it. This is your last chance, I mean it. If you keep seeing Mickey, I'll tell Billy what you've been doing. I don't want that. I give you one last chance to save your marriage and avoid all the troubles. It's your choice. I answered calmly but firmly. Who are you to give me ultimatums? You have no right to tell me what I can or can't do. If you tell Billy about this, I'll make you regret it, you idiot. Veronica answered defiantly. Veronica, I'm not kidding. If you keep dating Mickey, Billy will find out everything. I promise you. Just stop it now and everything will work out. I'll never mention it again, I promise. I answered. There's no point in stopping, idiot. Besides, your word is worthless. Now I want you to leave, and this time I'll make it very clear to you. Never come to my house again. Got it? Not on Christmas, not on birthdays, ever. I don't want anything to do with you, and neither does your brother. It's all because of you, you piece of shit. Veronica said, pointing to the door. Well, it could have gone better, but so be it. If she sees him again, her marriage is over. Perhaps I did the wrong thing by not immediately contacting my brother. I honestly thought Veronica wouldn't want to risk her marriage for an idiot like Mickey Johnston, but that was my mistake. Now all I can do is wait and see what happens next. On Tuesday evening, as I settled down to watch the show, I heard a loud knock on my apartment door. Who the hell comes at this hour and knocks like crazy? Opening the door, ready to say what I thought, I saw my brother Billy standing in front of me. Before I could say anything, he landed a right hand to my face, knocking me back into the apartment. Then he added a punch to the ribs while I was already retreating. He came at me with his fists again, but this time I was able to defend myself and start fighting back. If he wants a fight, he'll get it. We both exchanged a few punches, some landing, others not. Eventually, I felt his strength leaving him, and he began to lose consciousness. When he went limp, I let him go, pushing him to the floor, and sat back down. What the hell was that? We haven't fought like this in years, and for him to come to my house and just attack me, it was probably Veronica's doing. What did she tell him? Billy began to come to, but looked dazed when he sat up. What the hell was that? My own brother is attacking me in my house. I asked him in bewilderment. I know what you did. I can't believe my own brother would stoop so low. Billy answered, breathing heavily. Wait until I catch my breath. I'll hit you again. He added, You're the one who ended up unconscious, moron. If anyone gets another beating, it'll be you again. Now, what the hell is this nonsense? It's Veronica, isn't it? I answered. I know you came and tried to get into my wife's pants. Of all people, my own brother. Billy answered. What? Are you crazy? I answered. I know that you came several times on Saturdays when I was not at home. Even the neighbor told me. Veronica tried to cover for you, but I found out the truth. She told me that you are always partial to her, that you are jealous of what we have, that this is not the first time you tried to woo her, but this time you blackmailed her. You made up some story about her cheating on me and what you will tell me if she doesn't sleep with you. You're a real piece of shit. I never thought you'd stoop so low. Billy answered. I just sat there shaking my head in disbelief. That damn treacherous bitch. Billy, I never wanted her. But there was blackmail. I caught her cheating and threatened her that I would tell you if she didn't stop. I gave her a chance to save her marriage, but she rejected it. It's my mistake that I didn't tell you right away. I answered. She said you'd be lying and blaming her for this. Do you really hate me so much that you want to sleep with my wife? Ruin my marriage? I hate you so much right now. Billy answered angrily. Okay, if you don't believe me, get out. I'm done with both of you. I don't need this trouble. I replied, starting to lose my patience again. Billy stood up and walked out, slamming the door loudly. That damn bitch played him. No, she played me too. I should have seen this coming, but I never expected Veronica to be such a cold, manipulative beast. Live and learn, I guess. Over the next few weeks, I ignored the urge to talk to Billy so he could understand the truth. I hoped he would come to this on his own. Every Wednesday when I left work, I would still see Veronica's car at Mickey's house. This bitch is still cheating on my brother even after I told him. This Sunday is my mom's birthday. We usually have something planned, be it lunch at my parents' house or lunch at a restaurant. But I haven't heard anything about it, and it's already Friday. Sitting at the bar after work, drinking beer, I decided to call my mom to find out what we were doing on Sunday. Hey, Jack. What do you need? Mom asked dryly, not as usual. Well, hi to you too. I was just calling to see what we're doing on Sunday for your birthday. I answered. We already have plans, but you better not participate after what you did. Mom answered. After what I did? Are you talking about Billy and Veronica? I answered, somewhat surprised. What else can I talk about? I defended you to your father all these years, and it's hard for me to admit that he was right. That you are a bad person who only cares about himself. To do that to your own brother, I can't even understand what's going on in your head. But that was the last straw. You finally crossed the line, my mother answered. Seriously, Veronica is cheating on Billy, and it's my fault for pointing it out, I objected. Stop it, Jack. Enough of your lies. Your father wants nothing to do with you, and for once I agree with him. You've crossed the line, and none of us want anything to do with you anymore. You're on your own now, and you'll have to live with it. Mom answered and hung up. Well, I didn't expect this. Not from my father, but from my mother. Veronica made up her own story to cover up her betrayal, and they swallowed it all, not wanting to know my side. Well, maybe it's better this way. Billy is too stupid to realize that his wife is lying to him, and my mother, who believes Veronica's lies more than her own son. Fuck them all, I don't need them. On Sunday, I texted my mom, "Happy freaking birthday." She didn't answer, which was expected. Later that day, my sister Brittany called me. Hey Jack, so what have you done this time? Everyone's really mad at you, saying they're practically giving up on you. What the hell is going on? Brittany asked. Hey Britt, nice to hear from someone who isn't crazy. I answered with a grin. Seriously, Jack, what's going on? They say you tried to sleep with Veronica, that you blackmailed her. Brittany asked. No, it's all a lie. I found out she was cheating on Billy, but instead of telling him right away, I made the mistake of approaching her with it. I foolishly thought I could convince her to stop and save their marriage. I just knew it would destroy Billy if he found out. I answered. And what did she say to that? Brittany asked. She denied everything, of course. Later, I warned her that this was her last chance to stop it. Otherwise, I would tell Billy and let everything go as it went. She told me that I would regret it, that she would not allow herself to be blackmailed. I answered. Well, it looks like she backed up her threat. I know you and Dad haven't gotten along for a long time, but for Mom to talk about you like that is new. And Billy, he's always looked up to you as a role model. Right now, it's best to stay away from him. Brittany said. I'm not going to wait for them to come to their senses. If they want to burn bridges, let them burn them. You're my only family now. I answered. Now I'm waiting for more expensive birthday gifts. Think of all the money you'll save. Brittany replied with a laugh. Fuck you, Britt. I'm broke anyway. I answered, laughing. Britt was right. I shouldn't just give in and let Veronica fool us. But what to do? How to make Billy understand that he is being deceived? Well, that's what I was thinking. On Monday, I wrote some notes on a piece of paper and gave them to a colleague who agreed to do me a favor in exchange for a few bottles of beer. At 10 a.m., he called my parents' plumbing company, and my mom answered the phone. He asked for someone to come fix a major leak in the master bedroom at 2 p.m. on Wednesday, giving Mickey Johnston's address and name, although my colleague gave his real phone number, not Mickey's. He also asked for two specific conditions. First, that Billy Button be recommended, asking if he could do the job, to which my mother replied in the affirmative. The second was that he would leave the back door unlocked and ask Billy to come in through the back door and get to work right away. My mother dutifully wrote down the order details and assured me that it would not be a problem. It cost me 3 bottles of beer after work, but what can you do for success? On Wednesday, I made sure Veronica drove by at the usual time, hoping they would stick to their regular schedule. And sure enough, she passed by on time. I didn't know if Mickey's back door would be unlocked. That's just a hope. What's the worst-case scenario? Billy will arrive and see his car in the driveway and will be knocking on the front door, wondering where Veronica is when Mickey opens the door for him. Best-case scenario, he will go to the back door as instructed and go straight into the bedroom when they have sex. I couldn't wait to see how it would go. I finished work 10 minutes early at 10 minutes to 2. I wasn't going to miss it. I didn't want to ride my motorcycle around the corner and park inside of Mickey's house. Billy might recognize me or my bike. Instead, I asked the coworker who called on Monday to drive us both around the corner and park in front of Mickey's house. Right on time, Billy pulled up and parked at Mickey's house. As Billy got out of his truck and grabbed his tools, he turned around and saw his wife's car in the driveway. He paused, rubbing his head and checking his phone and house number. The fool was confused as to why his wife was at his work at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. As he approached the front door, he looked at his phone again, no doubt reading the instructions to enter through the back door. The fool ignored the instructions and knocked on the front door instead, waiting a moment before knocking again. Billy stood there scratching his head, not knowing what to do. Then he looked back at his wife's car, looking even more puzzled. When no one answered the front door, Billy finally went to the back door as instructed. Mickey's house is 1 story, so when Billy passes by the bedroom, he could see them through the window. I got my answer within 10 seconds. I heard the sound of breaking glass and Billy's screams, followed by Veronica's screams. I heard furniture being flipped over as Billy no doubt took out his rage on a stark naked and surprised Mickey Johnston. I wish I could have seen it, but hearing it was almost as good. 2 minutes later, the door opened, and my very angry brother flew out of the house, having just caught his beloved wife cheating, as I told him. Before he got into his truck, I rolled down the window and shouted to him, "Hey, asshole, maybe you should have listened to me instead of your lying, cheating wife." I then asked a colleague to drive me back to the construction site so I could pick up my motorcycle. A few days later, Billy tried to call me. Then my mom called, but I didn't answer. Instead, I blocked their numbers. Fuck them all. A few weeks later, I spoke with Brittany, and she told me that Billy and Veronica were getting a divorce, but she had hired a good lawyer and was asking for full custody of the children, the house, alimony, and her share of the family business. Basically everything I was afraid of when I first found out about her affair with Mickey. Billy is now also charged with assault and burglary based on Mickey's complaint. Well, it's their problem now. I'm not part of their family anymore. Veronica was wrong by cheating on Billy. I was wrong by not telling him right away. Does that make what I did right? I don't know, but it felt damn good. I don't know if that makes it right, and I don't care. End. Subscribe to our channel so that your love doesn't cheat on you, and go ahead and listen to the next story, because this story is nothing compared to the next one. If you're under 18, don't even think click to the next one. Click to the next one.